about this motion. Otherwise, I think it's a very good motion.
Any other comments? I just want to add, we're definitely not rushing this. If this was rushed, would have done years ago. So this is not a rush decision by any means, and it's definitely not a decision I take lightly. It is just like hiring a clerk, hiring a manager, contracting an attorney is a big decision, and I don't take it lightly, because if I would have taken it lightly, I would have pushed it a year or two ago. I've given it a year, I've given it two. I'm very fair, I'm a team player, I help out wherever I can, but there comes a time when, I ask myself the question, if I was doing the mayor 10% or 3% of the time, I wonder if we'd be talking about it this long. I wonder if I'd be voted again. So, ask yourself the question, if you all are not doing your job, I guarantee you Lillian Pico's going to tell you on next door. So, with that said, I just say, and please, and for the record, I'm not taking this decision lightly. We are not rushing this decision. We have been talking about this for a year and then some. And I would like to believe that the attorney would call you all within the next 30 days. I would believe he would pick up the phone and call you guys. Or if not, if he sees your phone number come through his phone, that he would get out of session and maybe speak with you, because El Portal matters that much. Can I have a roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilperson Draven.
No.
Councilperson Roman.
Yes.
Councilperson Mathis.
No.
Vice Mayor Nickerson.
No.
Mayor Cubillos.
Yes.
I'm scared.
I'm going to tell you something, boys and girls. It's 9:15. A decision has to be made, and everything has been set on the table. I'm not really. I can't make a motion. Everything has been set. I'm going to make the same exact motion. A decision needs to be made in February.
Yeah.
It's very simple, and a decision could be to hire a new firm. That's it. There is a motion that a decision is the same thing that I'm just wording it very differently, but a decision needs to be made in February, and that decision may include a new firm. No, I'm the mayor. My motion is, and I'm making the motion, and my motion is that the decision is to be made in February, and it may be to be considered a new firm. And it's very similar to what you've said, very similar to what Dre said. I've taken on the same thing. A decision wants to be made in February, and it could include a new firm.
I'll second.
I don't think we need public comments again. There's a motion made and then there's a second. But it's very similar to what you all have said. Decision has to be made. Is there a discussion to that motion?
I think that's a great motion. I think that what she made was a good one. I think what I made was a great motion. I think that my concern with Councilperson Roman's motion, although I thought it was a great motion, was that I'm just concerned that at the February meeting we were going to rush right through it and rush right to the new firms, and that was my only concern about that. Now, the way you worded it was the two-part word that I was thinking about. Was that what's the first part?
The motion is that there's going to be a decision made in February, and that decision could include a new firm.
Okay. So the decision's going to be made in February. That's the first part. Decision on Joe Geller. And then decision for a new firm, and that's the second part.
No, there's one. There's a decision to be made, and it may include a hire new firm. So we may say, hey, Joe, we're going to keep Green Spring Meter under these conditions, or hey, you know what? The council votes that we're going to move forward. There's a 3 votes or 4 or 5 votes on that, and then we move to a new firm.
I just want to make sure he gets his chance to speak and address what we're talking about. That's my only concern.
Vice Mayor Nickerson, he had the opportunity tonight,
All right, well.
And he will have it in February again. Hands down, that's why we're here. Remember, this is why we didn't decide as an admin and finance. We wanted the council to make that decision together.
As long as he gets that opportunity, Madam Mayor, that's all I'm doing.
He's going to have the opportunity to call you.
He's going to have the opportunity to call you too. And you can have the opportunity to call him too. It's very fair. We're waiting another 30 days so he can be here.
Okay.
Because we thought he would be here tonight.
Just want to be fair.
We're being very fair.
Just want to be fair.
We've been very fair. I believe we've been incredibly fair to him. Is everything okay? Ready to make a roll call?
Okay, the motion is to include with the same wording to hire a new firm as
Yes, motion's been made in February, and it could be to hire a new firm. There's a first and a second. Any discussion? Okay, they're all telling me sip it, lock it, put it in my pocket. Madam Clerk, can I have roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilperson Vera.
No.
Councilperson Roman.
Yes.
Councilperson Mathis. No. Vice Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Mayor Covey.
Yes.
Motion passes at the end of February.
February 24th. H3. If you all notice, the wording on this is different than the second one because the manager was there at the Admin and Finance Committee meeting. Consideration of the recommendation of the January 16 Administration and Finance Committee that the interim village manager become the permanent village manager and possible action thereon. I will open it up. I'll bring up the chair again who brought this motion. The committee voted to bring it forward so that we all can have an open discussion.
Okay, so on this H3 motion, the committee discussed it again. I brought up, we need to discuss how we're moving forward with this position as the contract was extended. And it was extended until, what was the date?
February 15th.
February 15th, we have a resolution in here.
15th.
Mhm.
And so after much discussion back and forths, the committee decided, we've all agreed that the interim village manager has been doing an excellent job. We agree how important this position is. We agreed that during Hurricane Irma, at less than 30 days or 30 days, if we couldn't have done a better job. And that had to do a lot with our new interim village manager, our interim chief, and the mayor. And so those are the three people in reality that worked really hard during that time. As you all know, the council cannot speak outside. That includes in an emergency, which I think is pretty ridiculous, but it does include in an emergency. And these three individuals did an amazing job. Not only has the interim village manager did an excellent job during that Hurricane Irma, but during this transition, she reports and speaks to every single council person. She keeps our goals in mind and the direction of what the council has as moving forward. Yes, there are things we agreed that perhaps there's training and things to learn. She has attended trainings while she's been here to enhance her skills and her knowledge in what this is a new position for her. And so, with all of that in mind, and much, it was a discussion. It was in a 5-minute discussion. I actually said that perhaps we extend it a little bit longer. But then after I listened to the rest of the committee, I agreed that, why extend it when we have someone who can who's been doing the job well, and not only that, but it takes so much to train someone. It takes so much, to go through
The process.
just the process, So we're breathing lighter now that we are moving forward, that we're moving forward with many of our initiatives. Having to, post and hire someone new means a delay. It means that we're not doing our jobs as elected officials, that we're not making the decisions, the tough decisions, and the important decisions that need to be made, which include the hiring process. And so, if we've already gone through that process, if we've, it hasn't, obviously, nothing is a breeze, but, it's been in consideration to what we had before, the experience that I've had in the 1 year, I agreed that, we should definitely move forward with this. Let's not waste any more time, and let's just move us forward. And so that's how this ended up here at the council meeting today. And I'll open it up to the rest of the committee in case you want to say something before we open it to the council.
I need to say a few things because I was, and I said it on the record at Admin and Finance. I was slightly torn, but not really much, because I did believe that it needed to be posted. But let me tell you why I ended up going the